love me? Do you want me? Put your hands all on my body. Don't worry, go crazy, oh baby. Do you love me? Do you want me?
When you see people like this showing up in your African country to attend the wedding of a TikToker they have a history of sending gifts to during live streams, the reaction that actually serves your country is not admiration for the lifestyle of your internet heroes or excitement about a cash gift. The more useful reaction, if you genuinely love your country and want it to survive, is to ask the following questions. Who are they? And what are they doing here? What is their connection to this internet sensation in your country? How did this TikToker who rose to fame almost overnight by displaying absurdities somehow end up so well connected to the rich and powerful both within and outside your country? Because more often than not, there is more to these things that meets the ordinary eye. And with just a little digging, barely scraping the surface, you will find your answers. Take one of them, for instance, Gregory Pizarro Jr., the individual you see here. He's a US Army veteran and the founder of a crisis management and venture capital firm called Glenhouse. What does this company do? According to its website, it manages entertainment entities around the world and advises governments on defense and crisis management. It does the latter by relying on the expertise of former and active members of the American defense and intelligence community, which is a really fancy and roundabout way of saying industrial social engineering and sovereign information warfare. This organization manages entities in the music and podcast spaces that exist primarily as instruments of distraction designed to control the attention of audiences in target areas and direct it away from whatever the US government considers politically dangerous. Basically, its job is to weaponize entertainment to suppress any political awakening that might be building in areas where governments don't want it. So of course, it is no surprise that these individuals have found a convenient ally in this Nigerian TikTok star. Many people across the African continent watch these content creators emerge from nowhere and turn into massively influential figures basically overnight, and assume that this rise is somehow organic. It is not. It has never been organic, and you are not the ones making them popular. They are industry plants. There is a well-documented practice of social media platforms entering into boosting arrangements with sudden internet sensations, engineering their popularity from the outset.
And then they literally tell me, they said, this is what we're gonna do. We want to encourage you to be on the platform to post content. We are gonna tweak. What they called it to me was flipping a lever. We're gonna flip a lever and it's gonna make your visibility 1,000 times. They didn't give me a number. They just said you're gonna be focused on it and you're gonna gain an audience. And I was like, what are they talking about? Anyway, I sat through the meeting and I want to tell you that I understood what they meant. For the next 7 days, I went from 0 followers to 700,000. 100,000 followers a day. And I did nothing. That shit was, I was like, wow. Now, they had like a program. They said, right now, TikTok is all about trends. We make the trends. I'm like, what? It's like, we make the trends. We're going to put you on an email list. I still got the emails. And we're going to email you what's going to trend for the week. If you want to rise to the top of the algorithm, your account is already preferred. Just make anything with that. You're going to go crazy.
As with the example you just saw, the chosen ones are almost always those guaranteed to offer nothing of substance. No one who has anything important to say or who expresses revolutionary ideas is ever favored by these platforms. That alone tells you everything you need to know. Another mistake people make is expecting foreign spies, information warriors, or intelligence operatives to announce themselves. The popular idea is that an operative working for a powerful foreign intelligence agency would never be found in a casual setting in your African country, which is apparently too unimportant to matter. Decades of watching fictional characters like James Bond and Jack Ryan have given many Africans the idea that a foreign spy is a suave, gun-wielding, glamorous figure in sunshades who likes their drink shaking, not stirred at an expensive bar in Monaco. This picture is completely wrong. The CIA, for example, has confirmed that its covert agents and assets can be anyone and can appear anywhere. Daryl Blocker, the individual you see here, was the most senior black officer in the CIA Directorate of Operations before retiring in 2018. Yet, for the 6 years he served in Uganda, Ugandans had no idea and no reason to suspect him. That was because he joined a local band and became a local celebrity. He literally became a member of the Kampala Jazz All-Stars after performing a Bob Marley song with them at a local bar during an open mic session. He followed them across the country for years, performing in different regions, all to maintain his cover. You can imagine the reaction any perceptive local observer would have received during this time if they had suggested that perhaps this smiling foreigner was not just a friendly American who really liked performing Bob Marley covers, but was a trained intelligence officer and one of the most dangerous people living on the continent of Africa. They would have been called conspiracy theorists who were obsessed with blaming the CIA instead of holding Yoweri Museveni accountable. People would have jokingly asked them, what made you think Uganda was so important that the CIA would deploy an agent under deep cover there? They would have been told, you people are delusional, you overrate Uganda so much. What secret does Uganda even have that the CIA would want? And yet, the reality is that right under the noses of all his Ugandan fans, Darrell Blocker headed the entire CIA Africa division between 2003 and 2006, a period during which the CIA under his watch incubated and funded the rise of what later became the Al-Shabaab terrorist group in nearby Somalia. Since this CIA instigated rise of Al-Shabaab in 2006, under Mr. Blocker's supervision, at least 9,000 Somalis, Kenyans, and Ethiopians have lost their lives to terror attacks by the group, and Somalia now sits on the brink of balkanization, with a country that we cannot name recently announcing that it will recognize the breakaway state of Somaliland. And all of this was set up by a smiling American Bob Marley fan who toured with a Ugandan band and looked like he couldn't hurt a fly. Because that is how ugly espionage really is. Do you see the point? Dismissing people like these as merely wedding guests or generous TikTok gifters is the response of a child who believes in Santa Claus. That is not how the world works. And this brings us directly to the next point. There is something else Africans must understand about the gifts these individuals have been sending to African content creators whom they have never met in person and have no connection with beyond a screen. There is no such thing as free money. Much of Africa's population has been conditioned to believe that there is such a thing as unmerited favor or miracle money, that all it takes is to somehow emerge the lucky one, or as those shaped by a certain borrowed religion will put it, for grace to find you. That is simply a way of rationalizing wealth whose true source is unknown or cannot be publicly stated. There is no such thing as free money. If a gift arrives suddenly and without a clear and justifiable reason, the first obligation is to interrogate the giver's motivation and what they expect in return. More often than not, it is a Trojan horse. Something is always expected in return. There is no such thing as a freebie in the real world. Interestingly, the same African population that reflexively defend receiving freebies from foreign strangers have been conditioned to view service provisions and social interventions from their own governments, including energy, subsidies, free education, and free healthcare, as unnecessary handouts that would damage the economy. Apparently, many Africans do in fact understand that nothing is free and that whenever money is spent on them, a bill will eventually need settling. So why do they seem to lose this understanding when the entity doing something for them is not their government? So when a random American shows up in your country like this, handing out money to internet content creators for no clear reason, ask questions. When they arrive in form of foreign diplomats and their first move is to identify and engage your influencers, ask questions. When they appear as a former amateur college footballer with an unclear source of wealth, showing up and immediately carrying out political interference under the banner of missionary and humanitarian work, ask questions. They have never come here because they love you. They are not your saviors. They are on a mission that serves one party only, and that party is never you. For the spearhead, Makay Chukwu.